Good day, wherever you're at. Welcome to Dads for Truth. We are sitting outside and enjoying the amazing spring weather. I've got Mr. John with me. My name is Ray, and we're happy to have you. John, how you doing?
Well, I am wonderful, 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 and I am glad to be back. We took a couple weeks off, had some stuff we had to do. Um, we had a nice last time we got together, you and me, a couple weeks ago. We had St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I almost cut my thumb off, remember?
Yes, yes. What a day. I mean, hey, it was a special occasion. I guess you were just too excited to get it going, but I'm glad
Gave it
you're
my
okay.
all.
Hey, you know what? I give you credit for doing 100%. So, no, it was great, and fortunately, you lived through it, and we're here. So, I, there's so much in the news right now,
Oh my
John. It's
God.
crazy. I mean, literally, I could have picked from 100 videos if I really tried, but I picked out three, um, and it's one of those things where there's so much news going on. So, I really wanted to kind of share some with you. So, let me see, which one am I going to do first? I think I'm going to. Gosh, this is tough. Yeah, let's do this one here. We'll do the.
Oh, I got chills. It's been a while since we did. Oh, can't wait.
Let me make
I,
sure I've got the. Make sure the enhanced video is going. Share sound, optimize video. Okay, all right, John. So let me go to not the Zoom screen, but let's do and move this out of the way here. You can tell we're amateurs. All right, so John, can you see the screen?
I can see the screen. I can't see me, but I can see the screen.
All right, here we go.
Latest album is called Love, is getting a lot of hate right now. This after federal authorities have raided two properties linked to him, one on each coast. Sean Combs appears to be part of an investigation into a sex trafficking operation. And of course, this comes as he faces multiple lawsuits that accuse him of assault and abuse, and he denies it all. We're bringing you the latest details to drop in connection with Diddy and the massive investigation. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
So this is Jesse Weber. He's pretty good. So I wanted to get a couple clips.
Absolutely horrendous things against him. And this is on the heels of other lawsuits. Remember, Cassie Ventura had filed a lawsuit against him. She settled the day after, but she accused him of rape and human trafficking. I mean, the worst stuff you can imagine.
Summer is just around the corner, and that means
All right,
the
so I'll
dreaded
pause it right there, John. So we can continue on in a second, but
skyrocketing
I wanted
electric
to
bills. But did you know there's
skip that.
And then
I wanted to see kind of your opinion. Obviously, I know you've seen this.
Yeah, I don't think you can get around like seeing this.
Yeah, and I know that I know there's so many people talking about it. I don't know what you saw, but you and I kind of grew up with P-Diddy and Biggie Smalls and
Yeah.
all these guys, and so we never knew any of this stuff was going on. But it's crazy because you've got guys like Epstein, you got guys like what's his name, the director in Hollywood,
Oh, Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein, Bill Cosby. I mean, this stuff's coming out every couple of years with somebody different. I want to get your thoughts on what you think. I mean, you and I grew up and and I liked some of his music, to be honest with you. Um, what do you think, and what the hell is going on with this world? This is crazy.
Well, first of all, I don't know if you've seen, right, but there's been a few of these guys have been coming out and exposing some of the stuff. Cat Williams, you know Cat Williams?
Yeah.
Cat Williams was all over the internet. He even did he did an interview with Shannon Sharp on Shannon Sharp's personal show. Where he did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
He exposed everything, and he was talking about all of this kind of stuff and more. I saw today Rob Schneider was talking about the same stuff, right? He was talking about when he was a young actor getting invited up to a director's hotel room. He didn't know. He didn't think anything of it, and then some weird stuff happened.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because what's his name? You just mentioned one of P. Diddy's proteges, besides Usher. Usher is huge in this, involved in this as far as what I can hear, and also Cuba Gooding Jr. apparently, which is
Hmm?
crazy.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he was involved as well, which blows my mind again because some of these actors we respect, the musicians we
Yeah,
respect, we
absolutely.
and what's his name? The young white rapper, what's his name?
Young
He's
guy, Eminem,
no, the other guy, yeah, the young kid. You just mentioned him. Well, one of his
Bieber.
proteges, yeah, Bieber. He's turned Christian. He's kind of turned a leaf, so to speak, for the most part. And now, I think, I haven't heard anything yet, but probably some people that are near him are saying, he was groomed by P. Diddy, and he apparently his mom, Bieber's mom, accuses now Bieber or accuses P. Diddy of grooming her son and getting him into that lifestyle. But remember he went from being a kind of a little soft kid singing songs to kind of a jerk, right? For a while there.
Yeah,
And so it's interesting. We respect these people in Hollywood, the same kind of grooming that they do in our schools, and some of these people that you see, these teachers get caught, and different people. We're seeing celebrities in what really seems to be kind of a lifestyle in Hollywood, and they, of course, they get away with it. Um, and then they do so much damage, but it's like I can't believe how many stories, and this is just what we know, right? How many of them do we not know about?
I saw. So I've done a lot of reading and research and stuff into this sort of thing. And one of the things that comes to mind that I've learned over the last year or so has to do a lot with the nature of their business. In other words, the reason why they tend to lean certain ways, or the reason why they tend to do certain things, or is because their business and their livelihood depends upon people liking them.
Hmm.
I was did some kind of research on this, and I remember I came across this video on YouTube. A guy, like he broke it down, and by definition, right, their industry needs people to like them. So, and think about it. If nobody's watching your movies, well, you're out of a job. If nobody's listening to your music, you're out of a job. That sort of thing. And so they do whatever they have to get people to like them.
You know how you and I have talked a lot about how our society, especially U.S., is so enamored with celebrity, and
Yes.
we're not enamored with good wholesome people. I mean, for the most part, yes, there are the exceptions. But I mean, think about how much more popular these guys, controversial figures are, and this lifestyle seems to be par for the course. They seems to be rampant in Hollywood and within music. And these are the people that our kids look up to. Now, what kind of role models are these that are engaged in this kind of activity? And these are the same people that we spend our money on and we help promote them. I think it's kind of disgusting, really, in my opinion,
That's
to see
terrible.
this kind of uh, just grooming of people. It just reminds me again we talked about with schools too, about how
Yeah.
the kind of the sexual deviancy has led its way into other parts of society.
Well, a lot of this goes back to, I mean, think about it. With politicians are similar. They need people to like them in order to keep their jobs. One of the things I've learned, and I may have mentioned this before in a previous video. I know we've had this personal conversation. I did a study last year, a real deep study in my Bible on what is Satan's motives, and it all came down to fear. And then if you think about everything that people do wrong, or the things that we consider negative, it's all out of fear. Greed. Greed is based on fear. Why? Because I'm afraid that if I don't have enough, either, I'll starve or I won't be able to make it. Power, approbation lust, they call it.
Yeah.
Same thing. If things are out of my control, if I don't have enough power, then things may not go my way. I
Yeah.
might get hurt. And so a lot of times people go along with these things out of fear that they won't make it big, or fear that now that they are big, they'll have to, they'll lose their jobs. They won't get acting jobs anymore.
I always think about these I feel sorry for these kids. Years ago I was thinking about having my son, who's kind of charismatic as a young kid, go. There was this local agency that was doing kids for commercials and different things. I went to it and I thought about doing it, and then I started thinking about all the kid actors and all the problems they've had in Hollywood and
Yeah.
what they're exposed to.
Mhm.
I'll end it with that because we got two more great videos. But here's the thing: is I know this is the last thought for you too. Is our society has become, things are so normalized with the sexual deviancy and the sexy videos and all these people
Yeah.
dressing with with these twerking videos. Our kids are seeing that as normalized stuff, and so many things are so sexualized that we really
Yeah. True.
have to protect our kids and watch our kids. And you and I, again, we listened to P-Diddy's music. We listened to those guys. We we
Yeah.
had no idea. Now it wasn't quite as sexualized. We didn't know what he was doing behind the scenes. But my goodness, as a parent, what we got to do in this society is to protect our kids.
Man, there's so much we could talk about with this, but yeah, go ahead, hit that next
Yeah,
video.
yeah. I got some more stuff for you here. All right. Yeah, this one you'll like. This is I think right up your alley.
Let's see.
All right.
He understood long before the rest, right?
Shelley Winter.
Hi, Shelley.
I talked to you yesterday.
Good. You are fantastic.
Thank you, brother.
You know Shelley?
Yes.
A great host. And are you guys friends or
No,
something?
just via Sanjay at
Well, that's
BCF.
nice because he's been there a long time too. I
Yes.
think right from the beginning.
Right from the beginning.
We did a radio interview with Shelley
Yes,
yesterday,
sir.
and I appreciated it.
I appreciate you very
I
much.
hung up. I said, "What a nice guy that is."
I'll bring in my clubs tomorrow along. I'll just
You
knock
let
on
me
the door.
know. I'm telling you. You let me know,
Thank
Shelley.
you, brother. Thank you.
Great.
God bless you.
Watch his show. His show is great. Listen to his show. His show
Absolutely,
is great.
95.5.
He got it.
Yeah.
You two guys got it.
And all these kids do too.
I think so. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. So you're getting lots of milkshakes. Look at that handsome guy. I wish I had hair like him.
Right here?
You.
Oh, yeah, me.
Hi, fellas. How you doing? Hey, Steve. How are you? Great. Thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody.
How you doing, Trump?
I'm doing good.
I love you, man.
How are you?
I'm well.
Everybody having a good time?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for coming. Can I get a hat?
Get ready.
Can I get a hat?
Yeah, I'd give you one.
Make America great.
You have one?
Y'all got one?
2024. Come on, man. You have it?
You know
I just wanted you to. I figured this would be kind of fun to talk about.
well, I'm going to tell you right now, right? That
He's at a Chick-fil-A, I believe, in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken.
so you know me well, right? Obviously, I voted for Trump, but I'm not like I am not like a worshiper of this guy at all, right? Like I voted for him, and I probably will again because I like his policies. I like I think he would do good, but I'm not one of these guys who's running around like bowing down. Everything he says is like gospel, right?
Yeah.
But I do want to say about this video, right? The whole time, and I know you couldn't see like me during the video. That whole time, man, I had a huge smile on my face because anytime I see videos like this of him, and I'm not like this about him or anybody else. It's just the realest, coolest, nicest dude ever, right? I mean, I've seen him at factories. I've seen him like, on all these interviews, and it's like he's just a real guy. And people get on his case. because of how he talks. But he's a real dude like you and me.
Well, the funny thing
freaking-
is that I didn't get a chance to. Obviously, the video goes on for a bit. He when he first gets there, all of the cashiers and all of the people are lined up. Now, I will caveat by saying this: every employee there is not white. Okay, they're all black, and I know I've seen Trump out here. I used to work for the Trump Hotel, but I've seen him make
That's right.
appearances, and he just kind of does what a normal person would do, right? He just walks in, he's himself. Obviously, he gets tons of attention by just being there, but he's a regular guy. As far as the way he talks to line level employees like they're like he really can relate to them, or he talks to them and like they are just. You can be a hater of Trump, but when you meet him, because I've met him a few times and I met his daughter, when you meet him, he has a certain charisma about him, but also a certain way to let your guard down. And people don't understand that. He is like a politician for the people. I know that we don't always agree with everything, but the guy can walk into a restaurant like that, and you have what supposedly, black people don't vote for Trump. Almost half people in that place are Trump 2024, and they're not white. So I don't want to bring race into it as a big deal, but if you watch the mainstream media, you'd think that
they would tell you otherwise.
like Joe
Yeah.
Biden says, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? So,
Oh my gosh!
right?
Yeah,
Remember him saying it to Charlemagne the
Yeah.
God, right? So I mean, here's the guy who can walk in and everybody loves him because he's a regular guy.
I don't know. I don't think I've heard anybody like that's met him like say anything like negative. All the people that talk crap about him are people that have never really met him in person,
Correct.
or they have an agenda. Because Hillary Clinton, before Trump ran for office, loved the guy, talked nothing but nice about him. So none of the people that talk crap about him like this have ever met him in person.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the first things he did was get Steve Harvey, remember,
Mhm.
and Jim Brown.
Mhm.
Jim Brown,
Rest in peace.
yeah, but Jim Brown is as hardcore pro-black as you're gonna get, right?
He's also a no nonsense dude.
Yeah, and
Was.
he, as far as I know, he didn't have a problem. So I think what happens is he gets a lot of negative press because, well, the press is owned by the other side. And I also think, and I don't think the people that worship him, and we all know people, you and I know people that like worship the guy, right? I
Sure.
don't think those people do him any justice either. In other words, when people like basically worship a politician, no matter how good he is, right? It almost makes the politician look like some kind of like cult leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it goes
whereas
beyond. Yeah.
if you just, you know what I mean, and now it makes them look bad. Whereas just regular people, you and me, we like Trump and we voted for him, but neither one of us was gonna like,
No,
hang on
and
every word he says.
no, and you and I talked about this, and I think I told you pretty clearly in 2016. I didn't obviously not know him well as a politician, but if you remember, I told you, I said the main reason I'm voting for Trump is because there's likely to be a couple of Supreme Court seats that are going to come up,
Yeah, it's true.
and I want to see judges in there that are constitutional judges
Yeah,
that are gonna do the right thing and not be voting with a woke agenda or some sort of emotional agenda, but just go by the Constitution. And I'm so glad I did, because obviously we have now a couple of good judges in there
yeah,
that
yeah,
are
absolutely.
constitutional judges. So I'm happy. There are some things I don't agree with them on. Eminent domain, for example, I've talked to you about that before.
Yeah,
Trump's position on that I don't agree with. And that's the beauty, is that as conservatives, generally, we can debate and talk about stuff, and we're going to have some disagreements, but when
All right.
you talk
So,
to someone who's
what do you
not,
think about this? This
uh,
one came out today. I mean, and you're more on top of this stuff than I am, so you probably already heard about this. But what do you think about this? He said today, I think he said it, or it came out today, that he said that if he was elected and a national ban on abortion came to his desk, he wouldn't sign it.
I did, yes, I did hear about that, and that's a really slippery slope because you have the evangelical side to the argument, you have a moderate side to the argument, and you have uh, a conservative side to the argument, and you have the liberal side to the argument. So the tough thing for him is if you take the evangelical side, it is at point of conception, basically, right?
And
Uh,
that's where I am. I'm very, I'm pretty lenient and pretty pro like freedom, make whatever choice you want, even if I don't agree with it. But when it comes to abortion, I'm pretty like hard, like no.
yeah, and that's the thing is you know I think he obviously you have to either say, okay, that is not a make or break issue for me. To me, they
I'm
make
still gonna,
more.
I'll still vote for him. That's
Yeah,
what
well,
I'm like.
to me, people make a much bigger deal about abortion than it needs to be. To be honest, because I think, I mean, it isn't like for most part that that it's like it's like an every second thing where maybe in the town you're in there are some people who have an abortion. I think the problem is in urban areas you've got one mindset. You have a lot of single motherhood, and it's in some cases this is where I think his thinking is. In some areas of the country, you have fathers that just disappear, and the mother knows when she
Yep,
gets pregnant, she
yep.
knows she's not going to be able to support that child. And so her mindset, especially if you're 18, 19, 20 years old, your evangelical side goes out the window if you're that young because you're so immature. All you're thinking of is this dude. This guy's not gonna stick around. He's gonna bolt. I'm gonna be a single mom. My life is over as it stands, right?
No,
And so that's a really tough thing to sort out.
oh, I am not the person who's going to hate or judge anybody for anything like that. I get it, right? And Jesus doesn't judge people either. So it's not, I'm not. That's not my stance as far as how to treat people. But it goes back to, and I know we've had these conversations over and over again over the years. This is why, you know, you know, abstinence, right? You know, you know, I know, I know I'm saying this, and I'm like, I didn't do that when I was a kid, but that doesn't mean I did a lot of really terrible, terrible things,
Yeah,
right?
we're in a very sexualized country
Yeah,
where kids are having sex and they're 14 years old getting pregnant.
yeah,
Crazy.
and the argument is always, well, the argument is always, well, basically, I'm allowed to. Well, am I not allowed to have sex? Am I not allowed to do things that I want? Right? Like, well, yeah, but should you?
Well, to
You know what I mean?
here's the breakdown of the two-parent household and the single motherhood is really to blame for a lot of the mentality change.
Yes.
It isn't like, okay, I have a supportive family. I messed up and got pregnant. I have a supportive mom and dad. They're going to be mad at me for doing that. But the problem is in a lot of these urban areas, the family has been broken down so badly by drugs or addictions
Yep.
or whatever, the
Absolutely.
father and mother cheating on each other, so much immorality that
Yeah.
these kids get pregnant because it's kind of like it's just they're not they just what they do because they don't have any other goals in life. They get pregnant and then like the girl's life is over because the guy bolts. She'll never see him again or whatever. So
And no, and that's the worst part about it. But and so in one sense, you can't blame the girl, right? But in the other sense, it's like people need to. I think young people are being taught that it's okay to
yeah,
go around
yeah.
screwing everything. It's
Oh,
it's just for fun.
hey, you know what? And the thing is no one's teaching these lessons in the household, and schools are teaching sexuality like it's almost
Yeah, like it's okay.
like it's promoting it, and there's no pushback on things. And then again, instead of being telling kids that your first choice should be keeping the child, why you should keep the child, why it's important. They're being taught that, you know what, you made a mistake, just you know what, here's the easy way out of that, right? There's no consequences for these actions. You're just taking a life because it's convenient for you. It's an inconvenient
Yeah,
thing that happens, so therefore, whatever, right?
you
I got
know.
one more video for you, John.
Oh, let me make one more statement on this
Yeah.
because I could go on about this forever. Um, Mother Teresa was one of my favorite people all time. I consider her like a hero, right? As nice and as kind as she was, right? She had a lot of harsh words for abortion. You know, and I mean, I don't know, what else to say. We could go into this is like a
No, it's one of those things, and you mentioned about the stance, and it's going to be it's obviously somebody told him, hey, you know what, Biden's going to make it because Biden has nothing else to stand on. Biden is going to make abortion or some other issue
yep,
the
it's
focus,
true.
take everybody's thoughts off of the crisis on the border, the Ukraine garbage, the Israeli garbage. They want to distract and make people's minds thinking about something else because Biden can't get elected on any of those things, the economy, inflation, none of it. But if he appeals to the soft side and to the emotions of the moderates when it comes to abortion and all that, maybe he can win, right? It's a strategy. Strategy. All right, I got one more for everybody.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, here we go.
Percent of them. Okay. And then you see their influence in defense contracts. Okay. So we went through a deal. I'm like, let me see if these guys, this ESG, Larry Fink, Vanguard, State Street, if they have any influence on military contract, defense contracts. If you Google the largest shareholder for Raytheon, 3 out of the 4 top shareholders of Raytheon, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. It could be top 3 with Raytheon, but I think it's 3 out of 4. If you go look up General Dynamics, if you go look up Boeing, if you go look up, Northrop Grumman, okay? And then you work backwards and you say, okay, how much money is that in what these guys are doing? You'll find the amount of money we spent in our military, $744 billion on how much we're making from defense, but you'll see some numbers saying last year it's 13% of our GDP, which is around $850 billion. That's more than the next 10 combined. We gave more money to Ukraine than Russia spent on their military last year. And when you look at these contracts, then you're like, okay, Fink is there, these guys are there. Okay, let's go look at Hollywood. Same thing you see there. Let's go look at pharmaceutical. Let's go look at this. And you're like, wait a minute. These guys essentially have a monopoly. Well, how big is BlackRock? $10 trillion. How big is $10 trillion? Only 2 countries have a bigger GDP than what BlackRock has, assets under management, U.S. and China. That's how big.
All right, so
I know all about BlackRock, buddy.
So-
I spent months on this a few years back.
see, obviously, it's a little bit of unpacking. We got about 6 minutes to go here. So, but real quick, obviously, we know BlackRock is a George Soros supported company. He's talking about the percentage of money that they have tied up or ownership in the military contracts, Hollywood, pharmaceuticals, oil, everything else. They own more, and more money is going to them just in military profits than Russia spends in an entire year on their military. Russia. So this is a money-making machine.
BlackRock literally owns whole countries. The way they work, besides like companies like Raytheon and stuff, is they buy banks, right? And then and they own banks, national banks in places. It's been a while I want to say Belgium or places like this. Small countries, they own the national bank. So therefore they kind of control the country. They buy. They're an investment company, just like the company that bought my hotel. And BlackRock buys other investment companies. So it's kind of like the cartel. One of the reasons why you can never find the head of the cartels is because the way it works is, I'm the boss. I'm the guy you report to, right? I give you the drugs, and you say, "Hey, who's your boss?" Doesn't matter. You deal only with me, right? And then same thing with me. I go to the guy above me. Well, who's your boss? Doesn't matter. You deal with me, and it's the same thing. What happens is BlackRock owns other investment companies, and those investment companies, invest and buy other small companies. So by proxy, BlackRock owns all of them as well. But unless you're doing the research, you would never know that. You could never trace it back.
Well, the interesting thing is, and a lot of people don't know this, BlackRock, and he mentioned Vanguard as well. So BlackRock owns about half of all 401k investments.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised it's not more.
So that means every other person has a financial tie to BlackRock.
Mm-hmm.
So all of our shares that we trade, all the money that's generated through 401ks and everything else, all the revenues that these brokerages get, BlackRock is collecting 50 cents on the dollar for every single dollar of generated revenue off of this business. So that means that they control the money. They control, and since they own, which should be a conflict of interest, they own military contracts, oil, everything else. They can control the prices. They can control the when it fluctuates. They can control interest rates by just messing with certain industries, like supposed lumber shortage that we had, the supposed right, all these things.
Oh yeah.
You think, what is control? Control is being able to do something like that, where you say, you know what? I think we can make a shitload of money, pardon my French, crap load of money, if we create a shortage in something and we have this massive supply and demand issue, and let's do it right after COVID so we can really rake in the money, right? So
I know I got a friend, and he's in the financial industry out here in Vegas. I was asking him about BlackRock a couple of weeks ago, and he just got this look on his face. He says it's like a lot worse than you think.
Oh, I bet.
And this is just the stuff that we know,
right? Well, you see, and that was Patrick. I told Patrick Bet-David is awesome. He was on Joe Rogan's show. This is actually 8 months ago. So obviously the Ukraine money is even more now, and all this these $1 trillion they're spending on these packages, they call it, for the economy. All these earmarks are for all these other things. Well, guess what companies are going to benefit from all these politicians who have ties to BlackRock? It's all going to go to make sure they get the biggest benefit. How do you think people like Nancy Pelosi get into office with a few pennies and now are worth $100 million? How do you think that happens? How does that happen? It's not magic, that's for sure. So, yeah, I mean, we'll definitely should hit up BlackRock again. I want to go into an in-depth discussion on BlackRock and talk to people a little bit about their 401k and where their money really is, and why you should watch and why you should put your money in other things besides U.S. currency. And we'll discuss that one later because that's really, really important. Because you're obviously, with inflation and everything else, your retirement and the value in your money is becoming less every day. So that's a crazy conversation unto itself. But I know you know a lot about BlackRock, so we should probably hit this up again and let our viewers give them an in-depth overview on what BlackRock really is and who they really own. We should probably break down some of the companies they own because it's amazing. So let's circle back, and hopefully the audience, hopefully you guys can like, share, and subscribe. Come back. I know we have a couple of weeks break in our show. We are working through some family issues. As you know, we're dads. We're dads for truth. but we also are limited in what we can do. So we believe in the truth. We want to cut through the spin. John, any last words? You got about a minute here. Any last words for our listeners?
Always speak the truth. Speak the truth with your whole heart and be willing to accept it, whatever it may be.
Yep, that's good advice. And you know what? We're going into a election year. So real quick, I want to remind everybody, you know what? Do your research. Don't be enamored with mainstream media. Look at several outlets. Read up. You know, let your if you're a Christian, you're Catholic, let God be your guide. If you're not, let your conscience and let your common sense be your guide. Cut through all that and do what makes sense to you. But certainly we are in a very volatile time, and John and I, we have our work cut out for us as dads, but we'll push through it like we always do. All right, folks. Have a great day. We will see you later. Have a good night.
Good
day.
night.